Right. Well, we're recording now.
Okay, that's good.
Well, that's fabulous. Great start for the first video. So, hello everyone. I guess we are talking about Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery,
We're
a
talking to
game.
ourselves about Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
talking to
Obviously.
ourselves. Yeah, correction. So yeah, this is. I hesitate to say game.
More like pure addiction, and I don't know why.
It's like, I mean, I think. Are you currently on it? Are you?
Yes, I am. I realised that it's just become like the version of my own sex life simulator, just standing there waiting and nothing happening. So,
Tap for instructions. But yeah, this is a. I suppose we should give a quick summary what the, once again, game in quotation marks is. It's sort of like a mobile game for Harry Potter, but it's what would happen if Pottermore was crap.
it's what happened if Pottermore met capitalism.
Oh god, the worst form of capitalism as well. It's just, it's
Microtransactional capitalism.
yeah. This game, once again, game in quotation marks, is effectively a sink for your cash. It's
Stop kink shaming it now.
yeah. Well, it's effectively, if only it was kinky, you know.
I know.
But yeah, this game effectively has you wait, putting pressure on you to complete tasks, and we're not talking about proper tasks. We're talking about mundane tasks such as looking in a book requires one energy, and I swear to God, some of these students are the most like low energy people.
Someone annoying their greens. It's a very strange game,
Yes.
and it's very enticing. I don't know why. I think that's the issue with it. I don't usually play mobile games. Like the last mobile game I properly played was the 9-cat version of Flappy Bird or Flippy Bird, or whatever the fuck that
Yeah,
was.
Flappy Birds. Yeah.
And I think what it brings to you is what it brings to me is the fact that it's Hogwarts, and there's the part of me which is like, oh my god, it's Hogwarts. So I play it, and then I don't do anything. Like I'm just like tapping at things.
It's like when people think Harry Potter, they think, was it brooms, Quidditch, and spells and magic and danger
We haven't even
and
got to the Quidditch yet.
yeah. Well, it's. I mean, they've asked a few lore-based questions, I suppose you can say, for like if anyone who doesn't play like, and anyone who wouldn't look it up, anyone who doesn't understand Harry Potter may like choose the wrong answer, but I hesitate to think that anyone would do that. Everyone would just look it up. but anyway, yeah.
It's a strange one because whenever they ask me a law-based question, though, a sheer amount of anxiety appears in me where I'm just like, ah, fuck.
It's like, how do I answer? Yeah, I get that, but yeah, this game, my character is one angry-looking dude. I tell you.
You're a Slytherin, you're an edgelord.
Yeah.
I have to say that this is the thing, though. Something that I've known, maybe it's just the storytelling of the game. Like, I don't know the people that made this game. I don't know how they've ever made any other game ever. But they do, like, I get Snape being Snape, because that's just always Snape. But the characters they brought in are just, like, intense archetypes. Like, the Merluna girl, who's, like, Slytherin. It's just intensely the worst person in the world. Like, to the point where she's trying to kill you and you're in first year.
Yeah. I really don't get it. It's really bizarre to me to have to like do that, like to interact with characters that are in many ways so one-dimensional. And it's. And I don't know if you noticed about the art style, but it seems like they've created the characters for this game first, and then designed and morphed the Harry Potter characters into their sort of design. I mean, to a certain degree, I can appreciate that, but they look really weird. I mean, I've got some comparison shots later on, but it's just, I don't know, it's just so weird. I mean, I suppose should we go through the story? I guess.
I guess at this moment in time.
Yeah. I mean,
for,
yeah. Go ahead.
well, so from what has happened so far, just so you people know, I am only in first year at the moment. I'm on which chapter am I on?
Dude, I'm still in first year. We have to wait for everything.
Well, at least it's got the whole school experience down.
I'm gonna be 54 by the time we reach second year.
Not if you don't play right.
Not if you give money.
You give money. So you're basically this kid, and you're like, oh, I've got to go to Hogwarts. Oh my god! So you go to Diagon Alley, and you get your wand. I think mine was something to do with unicorn. I can't tell 100% off the brat. I don't think it actually tells you after. And then you meet this dude called Rowan, who is kind of the most insufferable character ever. I understand this is probably a mobile game for kids, and maybe I'm judging too hard. Because kids are still alive at this point, and I'm basically dead inside. But, like, he's just so optimistic. I guess I would be optimistic. But you then get to Hogwarts, and then you kind of, like... I don't know that your brother's mentioned before this. Is your brother mentioned before that?
Well, I think your brother is mentioned by Rowan outside, like, the shop, and then inside the one shop with Ollivander.
Yes.
Yeah, so Rowan is a very interesting character because he's so one-dimensional it hurts. It's like, I'm intelligent and want to do well. All of these are good qualities, therefore I am a good person. And the first thing you literally do to him is he asks you your fashion advice. And I don't know what happened in your game, but he just took my advice and ran with it.
Oh, he did, yeah. I told him to get a sweater.
I told him to get a scarf, and it just... I don't know, it's... I've got a load of screenshots of people, and they all look really angry. I think it's just like what I took... It's pretty much sums up the experience of this game for me. But, yeah, anyway, you talk to Rowan, who introduces himself to you and talks about himself, and then you go inside the shop, Ollivander's wands, and you are greeted by a horrific tribute to John Hurt, and who I swear they've made Ollivander into a pedophile, and I really
We've escalated a bit fast.
I know, it's really sad, but you know, it's in a way, it's just there are so many things he says that cannot possibly be not misconstrued. Like, for example, the one on the screen I've just the Applewood wand, Dragon Heartstring core, 9 inches rigid. Give it a twirl. It's just... I remember Ollivander being like this lovely, you know, maybe slightly creepy old man, but he seemed really knowledgeable, and John Hurt gave a really fantastic performance for what was effectively, I suppose, his one of 2 performances in the whole series of the films. But yeah, I really liked the character because it was, you know, he was there for a purpose. He had development. He worked, and he worked as a good sort of carriage for progressing the plot. And he told him about Voldemort, told him about how he got his scar, and the connection between Harry and Voldemort is just being established, and it worked really well. And this game sort of takes that and turns him really, really weird. I feel like they've ruined Ollivander for me.
Bless Ollivander. To be fair, he's in the final book as well, and I can't remember because he's trying to. I remember Voldemort has him trapped in the Malfoy Manor, or something like that. I think it is because he's with Luna, and seeing as Luna is Bae, anything that happens for Luna, I know about. So.
It's something to do with the Elder Wand, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's either to do with the Elder Wand or to do with the connection between Harry and Voldemort's wand. I can't remember. I think it might be Dumbledore that might have done the connection, but I think it was also Ollivander.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since I read the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that all happens. I think the greatest injustice to me, and I don't know why, was the fact that I got to choose my house.
Yes, it robbed some sort. I mean, you were telling me that Pottermore effectively asks you questions and then determines where you are, sort of like a political compass sort of deal. But yeah, this felt really really bizarre in letting us just choose our house. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I don't mind choosing Ravenclaw because I know I'd be in Ravenclaw, but it just felt like, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
And yeah, I mean, I've got another fantastic screenshot of my character tending to his broomstick.
That also being said, Rowan, why does Rowan have to like join you in whatever house you choose to be in? Because it doesn't. Do we have too high of expectations of a mobile game which is out to get money? Like,
yeah, I think
assholes in this.
I think
should we just let it be?
I think if we are, I think we feel personally victimised by this game, and I think we're justified in expressing our rage towards it. But yeah, I mean,
because Rowan to me is a Ravenclaw type. Like, look at him, bookworm, this and that, like hardcore, like wants to do well, wants to be head boy, wants to be prefect, wants to do all these spells and read. He's very Ravenclawish, or how I interpret Ravenclaw to be a little bit. And the fact that like you picked Slytherin and he's in Slytherin, I was like, he has got no traits of a Slytherin.
Yeah, I've just got this feeling that he's our patsy effectively. It's like he will do whatever we tell him to do if we ask it of him, because the player quotation marks requires some sort of reason to get emotionally invested in the game, some sliver of reason. The problem is I started the game with absolutely no compassion towards Rowan, and it hasn't grown since.
You started the game with no compassion towards anyone.
But then, of course, I think my view of the game has been tainted by the fact that I started this game with no compassion for it. So, but yeah,
you can't stop playing.
Yeah, so I want to go back once again to Ollivander because I have a real problem. It's he's the first thing where he asks you about how you feel about your brother, and I'm sat there not knowing a single thread of this story, and I'm going, I don't even know my brother. I don't know my family, and you're constructing this backstory for a character that I'm supposed to be playing. You know, I felt. I know it's a mobile game, and once again, we're going back to your point about maybe our expectations are way too high. But for heaven's sake, I think for the amount of money they're probably getting from this, they could have put a lot of work into it. I mean, it's Warner Brothers, for heaven's sake. It's not like they're lacking for a budget. They have produced some really quality content in the past.
I guess, but then it limits to what, like, I guess what a mobile game can do comes into a little bit of a factor, maybe. Yeah. Like, you're talking about this, like, angle of this construction of just having your phone in there, but whenever you do play a game, unless you're playing some, like, an RPG, like, you know, to the point of, like, Skyrim and stuff like that, but even with Skyrim, like, you do have that narrative sort of stretched out for you and constructed for you. Maybe it's a bit more liberal with something like Skyrim, while you have something like this, which is just completely, like,
do you potentially think then that Skyrim and games like Skyrim have potentially nulled us to the games that aren't free, so to speak? That in games,
is any game free now?
Yeah,
that's the question.
No, this game certainly isn't, because you have to spend time and wait and spend money to avoid waiting. So, but yeah, as far as I remember from the main plot of the story, we've got, you know, your character arrives at Hogwarts and, you know, is sort of optimistic, I guess, and slightly ticked off about his brother. It's like, are you going to Hogwarts to learn, or are you going to Hogwarts to look for your brother? It seems like there's two mixed-matched motivations, but then I guess Harry also experienced that. You meet Rowan. Rowan's like, yeah, your brother, everything's fine. He doesn't really offer any new perspectives other than telling you everything. And then, I don't know about you in my experience, but I lost Slytherin 10 house points, like, when I started.
Oh, I love you.
And that was Snape that did that. And Snape, and for those of you who don't know, Snape is the head of his Slytherin house. And I'm a Slytherin, so there's really you can't accuse Snape of being biased anymore because he just took 10 points away from a Slytherin.
The way it was that he was biased, like, well, apart from after the whole spoiler where basically Snape became the most moral person out of everything.
Yeah. I think it's safe to assume that Snape is a lot of people's favourite character.
At this point now, yes.
Yes. Always, but, Jim. Always.
Always. No, see, Lena, what can I say?
Oh, yeah, of course. So.
But, yeah, it was just sort of like this throwing like the Slytherins under the bus, and then I'm assuming that your head of year or the prefect got angry at you. But what I don't understand was that you lost the points and then Merula got some points back or something like that. I don't know.
No, she sent you. So we'll get to her in a moment. But yeah, it's I got in. I went into the Slytherin common room on the game. And effectively, I was greeted by the most angry-looking head of year or head of like our house, like a prefect, and he threatened me with his wand, and I was like, "Oh my god, am I going to die this soon?" Because Slytherin are Death Eaters effectively, or Death Eaters in the making, and I mean that's effectively their reputation. But one of them came in as like, I'm threatening you. Don't you dare lose points for us again. You're putting the house down. And I'm like, oh great, everyone loves me. And then this girl, for heaven's sake, this woman is this woman. I said this girl. This few pixels, I guess. This few pixels is pure hatred. This anime-looking girl is just like, she just arbitrarily decides that she's going to send you a fake letter from Snape and say, "Oh, here's this letter." I'm not at this point. I'm not worried about spoilers. I really don't care. But it's like, to be honest, you're going to be waiting a while anyway. But this girl decides to send you a letter faked from Snape that says you can get your 10 points back if you go and get a certain potion, and you go to the storeroom and you get locked in with Rowan for some reason, which in itself is a punishment, and you get attacked by Devil Snare. And that's the thing that gets tighter the more you struggle. Luckily, you've learned the one spell that's able to free you from it. However, getting the energy to free you is terrible. I mean, this is where it's faced the biggest public backlash, is the fact that the game strangles you to pay. And it's not even strangling you, it's strangling a child. And I really don't get it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm not. It's just... So, as you can probably see above, it's got this star system where effectively you have to expend energy, which is the 0/24 in the top right-hand corner. That effectively you use a certain amount of energy to progress towards one of the stars, and then you see the tug at vines thing. You have to use the three taps in order to get past that task and progress towards the next star. And you'll notice the timer at the top. Effectively, that's to give you enough time to get past this stupid tutorial. And basically, your energy in the top right-hand corner, the blue lightning bolt, basically recovers 1 point every 4 minutes. So you have to wait a long time in order to replenish it. Or you can spend money in the store to get the... Are they gems? Are they crystals?
They're gems, so they're sort of like crystal things, and they also basically, from what I can see, they can either unlock the really expensive stuff, or they speed up the time between quests, so you can speed into the next quest, or speed up the amount of stuff you recover. So it's basically like the stuff which makes you like get things done faster.
Yeah. I mean, effectively, it can be exchanged for more energy as well, and you can then buy more energy from the store with the gems. So effectively, there are 3 different currencies in the game. 4 if you consider the timer. And
what the currency of your time?
yes, the currency of your time, and if it's worth spending. Effectively, you could be on Pottermore doing something interesting, reading fan fiction or something.
I don't think you have Pottermore. Do they have fan fiction?
I don't know. Is there a site that they probably have links to the community? It would not surprise me. I really should get onto Pottermore at some point.
I started it, but I didn't get much into it. But from what I know, it's good. If you want me to find some fan fiction, I can. I can go on archive.
If you want this to go to a different site, then maybe. But yeah, anyway, you escape the Devil's Snare, and effectively you end up just going to Hogwarts like nothing happened. You know, you've had an attempted murder already, but everyone's just going to overlook that because you have no proof. You know, and
not that Hagrid found it.
Yeah, luckily Hagrid burst down the door and he's like, oh yeah, what are you doing in here? And he's like, someone tried to murder you. Do you have any proof? And I'm like, Hagrid, you're supposed to be good-natured. But anyway, Madam Hooch, flying class, what a disappointment.
I've spent 4 days learning how to mount a broom.
It should be simple. It should be simple.
I've just been waiting for it to work.
Yeah, but that is... it's just another waiting and tapping and figuring out what you're going to do next and pretending to be interested in the game's plot. But yeah. You've got... yeah.
It's just that I don't know why, but I'm kind of addicted to it. Like, I woke up at like 5:30 and I was like, I'm going to tap some things.
Yeah. It does play on your mind.
I think that's a problem, though.
Yes, it is a very big problem, and but we've got to remember some of these games aren't gambling. Luckily, we don't have loot boxes in this game yet.
Oh, leave the loot boxes alone. What have they done to you?
Con me out of money. I was one of the initial FIFA victims.
Were you actually?
Yeah, and but then there's the yeah, I was really gullible.
Oh,
but yeah, there are. I suppose we should talk. There are other characters, but we've had yet to be introduced to them because we have to progress through the game, and progressing through the game takes forever. So.
Well, I met a blonde Hufflepuff. I can't for the life of me remember her name, but I haven't unlocked her yet as a friend. There's also Ben. I don't know if you met Ben yet.
Yes, I have met Ben. We've got Ben up on screen right now. He's very timid and very scared, and you have to sort of convince him out. For a Gryffindor, he's not very brave.
Look at Neville.
Gryffindor and Slytherin's clothing, effectively, is what the main character is for me. But
yeah, you got Ben, and then from what I can see, you meet. This is another draw, and this is also why I think it's cheating. You meet certain characters from the actual characters that you either didn't have that much screen time on the movies or something. So you meet Tonks at one point, and you meet both Bill and Charlie Weasley.
I haven't got to that point yet.
I haven't got to that point either, but I just want to meet Bill Weasley because he looks kind of fine in animated form.
No comment, but I'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's I do enjoy that this game is somewhat self-aware. Because it mentioned, your own character mentions that, I've got it up on screen currently, the quote, Hogwarts shouldn't be about bullies and barely escaping death, it should be about learning magic and having fun. Bullies, death, magic and fun are all in bold. And effectively, it's interesting that they don't, they acknowledge that those are the things that move the plot along in the actual films and books. It's like bullies, Malfoy, check. Death, Voldemort, check. Magic, check. Fun, check. But the thing, those things are interconnected, and it's sort of like it's in denial about half of the reality of Hogwarts. Because bullies and death in Hogwarts, as in a fictional universe, are part of the magic and fun.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's an uncommon thing nowadays.
Yeah, and plus my guy's a Slytherin. He should be enjoying this sort of thing. I'm kind of annoyed that I can't be the bully. You know, it's like I want to role play in my Harry Potter fantasy games, and I can't role play in this game because I need to spend all my time tapping or waiting.
Tapping or waiting, and then the responses are never good.
Yeah, the responses are never good. Yeah, I've got up on screen the fact that Alan Rickman. I don't want to say reprises his role because he's obviously not reprising his role for obvious reasons. But the worst impression I've ever heard is it's really just. It just, Snape has. They really overdo the negativity of his character in this game. And I'm not saying that because I have a grudge.
I don't know. Like Snape was always like that, though. I think. I don't know. Just to save this entity on the mobile phone.
Yeah, maybe we're stuck in the post-film era where we're expecting our Snape to be good, but it's not true to his character.
Who needs post-feminism when we have post-video game? What are we at now? I don't know. Is this a video game? I can't tell.
We're at post-video game.
Tapping and spending money.
The thing is, we're not at post-video games. We're back at pre-video games where you literally just spent all your money on something that wasn't actually yours, like at the arcade, just throwing money into a machine.
But at least you got the entire. Well, did you? Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, did you get rewarded for that? You know, it's very.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, maybe we become like as video gamers, we're too like consumed with video games now because you didn't have you really had to try in the old video games, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you would have to save up money, be good at what you were doing because you didn't really have them at home and you were doing them at the arcade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now all we do, I don't really have to try much if I'm playing Pokemon or Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Persona 5, yes, mainly because Persona's a fucking endurance test. But maybe it's back then it was sort of if you got the high score, it was a really big thing. It's all I don't know, maybe it's the arcade was sort of our online gaming nowadays. Space Invaders is this current year's the millennial pace thing. Is now the Overwatch.
Yeah. Space Invaders is the Overwatch of video games. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I lost the point halfway. I think it was just that we come to expect a lot from our video games when back in the day it was much more simplistic.
Yeah.
But
then I suppose why is the video game industry regressing back to nostalgia-driven cash clickers, effectively? You know, I mean, and what's so appealing about them? I mean, we're here talking in a video about it, and you and I are both still playing it. It would not surprise me if you have it open.
I would like to say that I'm not playing it, but I'm waiting for my energy to.
Dude, that's effectively the same thing.
At this point.
Well, I think that pretty much covers what we want to say about this.
What's going on at this point? Yeah.
Do we have any sort of closing thoughts for Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery? Other than it's obviously the Overwatch of video games.
I'll wait.
Yeah, if you want our conclusion, you'll have to wait or pay money.
Great.
But yeah, this is. Oh god, this game. You ever get the feeling you're wasting your life?
Surprisingly, yes.
And on that happy note, I think we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, well, thank you everyone for listening. We hope to entertain you again.